Okay. Let's do this thing. We're getting into the podcast. We're getting into it quickly. And today we're talking about attracting sponsors. Now, why are we talking about attracting sponsors? Because, guys, whether you want to believe it or not, if you are a professional MMA fighter, boxer, Muay Thai fighter, whatever else it might be, you're a business. You're a business and you need to learn how to make money. Yes, fighting is hopefully going to be the main source of that money over time as you continue to get better, as you continue to reach new levels, et cetera, et cetera. But do you want to wait until you're at the top of the top of the top of the top in order to start actually making any money? Or do you want to put yourself in the position where you can be more financially free faster with that sport? So we're going to be talking about how you can better attract sponsors because it's just fucking important. So we're going to get right into this show. Let's get going in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dussault, and today we are talking about attracting sponsors. Now, why are we talking about this today? We are talking about attracting sponsors because, guys, if you are a professional athlete in any combat sport, in the beginning, from my experience with the athletes that I've worked with, you are not making crazy good money. You're likely not making a full living off of it. It's likely a small paycheck a couple times a year while you work a regular job. Now, I understand that you didn't get into combat sports thinking about becoming a business person, but if you're at that level, you're a business. Your career is your business. You are now a business. And you can deny that fact and continue living off of the $500 to a couple of $1,000s that you get paid a few times a year for putting your body on the line. Or you can learn how to start attracting sponsors and start making money outside of the fights themselves in order to set yourself up financially faster to actually maximize the platform that you're being given. Now, how do we do this? Number one, obviously, perform. No one wants to sponsor the guy that goes out and looks like shit time after time after time and has a bad record and all of that. So number one, yes, you need to continue to focus a lot on your skills. You need to continue to focus a lot on improving. You need to continue to focus a lot of your time on the product that actually goes into competition each and every time to make sure that you're delivering a promising career that people are going to want to get behind. But number two, and we're going to keep this super basic today because I know a lot of you guys do not like the business side of it, and I get it. I didn't get into coaching to be a quote-unquote business person either, but I slowly but surely realized if I wanted to survive in this industry, if I wanted to put food on my table, if I wanted to one day potentially have a family and, be able to live a relatively normal life and have my family not be homeless, I needed to learn the business side because most gyms pay like absolute dog shit. And as a result, you don't make very much money. And if you don't make very much money, shit doesn't go well for you. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about in terms of building up, about attracting sponsors, sponsorships, putting yourself in a position to be financially successful in your chosen sport is using social media. And I know a lot of you guys out there right away think, ugh, I don't like social media. I don't understand it. I don't want to be on it. And I've got one thing to say to that. Too fucking bad. Because again, I get it. I get not wanting to spend your time on social media. And you don't have to spend all day, every day on social media. But you've got to understand that people don't want to sponsor you just because you exist. People don't want to sponsor you just because you're an athlete. You might get a couple for that. You might get a couple of, family friends that own a business say, yeah, I'll float you $100 every time you fight. But you're not going to make a living off of just random little friends and family throwing a little bit of cash out there. So why is social media important? First of all, we're going to talk about that. And then from there, we're going to get into things that you can do to better use social media. So when it comes to attracting sponsors, plain and simple, guys, social media is important because it shows your reach. If a company is going to pay you money to post for them, they need to know that that post is going to get in front of people. Because guys, coming back to the point of people not liking social media, not wanting to use social media, anything like that, look, I get it, but think about it this way. What if you could get paid $100 every time you posted on social media? Would you like it then? Probably a little bit more. And those kinds of deals are out there, but those kinds of deals are out there for people who have a social media presence. Like, one of the things that sponsors are going to look for is your reach. Like right now, my business account reaches 27,000 people every 30 days. And that is a good number. Like, I'm happy with that. It's grown significantly even just over the last couple of months. But that's not even like a phenomenal number. You know what I mean? So the reason that I've been able to build that up even just to that is because I put effort into my social media. Am I doing it 15 hours a day? No, but it's a couple of hours every day that I'm learning about how I can use it better, how I can reach more people, how I can put my company in front of more eyeballs. Now, yes, from a business standpoint, this obviously is also important so that, I can impact more athletes, as my goal is to do. But down the road, when there are companies that are looking to, create brand partnerships, etc., who do you think they're going to look at? The coach who is showing themselves on social media, who's active on there, who's gaining a following, whose posts get out in front of 27,000 people every 30 days? Or the guy who has one post over the last 3 years because good coaching isn't about being seen? Like, sure, but good coaching is hard to come by if you can't pay your bills and you're fucking homeless too. So learning how to use this side of the business side of things is just going to put you in a better position to better deliver to your athletes. Because as a coach, I used to be that guy too. Oh, I don't have to be seen. I just have to coach well, and then that'll be enough. And then I slowly but surely realized that I can be the greatest coach in the world, but if nobody knows about me, nobody gives a shit. And so it's not scummy to post shit on social media. I'm never trying to sell anybody anything that they don't want. My goal is to help athletes better themselves. And if I want to help athletes better themselves, they need to see me in order to do it. And so if you are an athlete and your goal is to get sponsored, your goal is to have a company pay you money for being you, they need to know about you. And if they don't know about you, they're not going to pay you money, plain and simple. If you had a stranger hit you up in your DMs today and be like, hey man, give me money, you would either not respond or laugh. So what makes you think that if you're not putting yourself out there, companies are randomly going to jump out of the woodwork to pay you money? It just doesn't happen. Now, hopefully that was a little bit of an insight as to why, as an athlete, you need to start using social media. But you might be thinking, but Kenny, what do I post? What do I talk about? I don't like it. I don't know what to do. So what do I do? Good news, it's a lot easier than you're making it out to be. If you want to start getting regular on social media, start posting regularly, start attracting sponsors, start upping your insights and your reach and all those things that I talked about, one thing, the basic thing is you just need to be out there. So when it comes to what to share, start just talking about previous fights. Show a clip and talk about what was going on in your mind when that clip was actually taking place. Talk about the upcoming fights or upcoming competitions that you have. When your fight is, how the training camp's going, how you're feeling about your opponent, just the day-to-day of what it's like preparing for a fight. You might not think people want to hear about it because you're you and you don't find it like it would be that interesting. But if there are younger fighters watching you, they want to hear about that shit. They want to hear you talk about what it's like preparing to fight for, that regional promotion that they're growing up watching. They want to hear what it's like getting that call from the, Dana White's Contender Series and getting that opportunity. They want to hear what it's like being you. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. It's out there. So if you start sharing that stuff now, you get a more loyal fan base behind you. You have a bigger following. Your posts are reaching more people. And if your posts are reaching more people, now sponsors become more interested. Plain and simple. It literally will work like that. Now, things as well is talking about your personal story. This one is super important, and one that, even to this day, I know I struggle with, but I'm trying to get better and better at, is people want to know you as a person. If people want to get behind you, like if you're looking to get sponsored, they want to know who they're sponsoring. They want to know why they should put their money behind you. And yeah, you can pitch them. You can, start talking. Oh yeah, you should pay me because blah blah blah. But if you're just authentic online, talk about what got you into fighting. Talk about why you love it. Most people think that combat sports athletes are out of their fucking minds. Talk about why you actually like this instead of taking that stance of, people who do this are out of their minds. And by the way, when I say that, I do not mean it in a bad way. I fucking love these sports. I love working with these athletes. It's my absolute passion, my absolute dream come true. But why do you love it? Why do you do it? Why is it exciting for you? Have you ever considered doing anything else? What were the tough moments that you had to overcome in your career? Talking about these personal things, and like literally open up your phone. Like I have my TikTok stream right now. Open up your phone and just talk. Talk to the camera. Tell people about you. And by doing this, you become more relatable. And by becoming more relatable, sponsors are looking at you and going, oh, that's a good person that we want to get behind. Not to mention they're a great athlete. So if he's a good person and a good athlete, that's probably someone worth putting our money behind. And guys, simply just by starting there. And the other thing too is set a commitment. You're disciplined with your training. You show up to the gym every day. You train hard every day. You eat the meals that I'm sure you don't want to be eating. You work your ass off for this career. Make that same commitment with this other area. Because yeah, you can stick with the crowd of saying, oh, but I'm not a business person. Oh yeah, I just want to concentrate on fighting. It's like, cool. But the ones who are going to make the most money, the ones who are going to actually be financially free, like you say you want to be, are the ones who understand this side of the game too. If you're wondering why Sean O'Malley was driving a Lamborghini before he even cracked the top 15 in the UFC, it's not because he was just a good fighter. Yeah, that helps. The fact that he was putting on highlight reel performances, obviously people like that. But it was because he was live on Twitch, streaming himself playing video games every day. He was doing a podcast with his coach that has 400 plus episodes out that people were getting super excited about. He was making funny videos of like different combos of the week and things like that ended up getting sponsored by a weed company that now pays him shit tons of money to literally just say their name on social media. He made his money through the ventures that he created through the platform that fighting gave him. And don't get me wrong, he's making a shit ton of money as a fighter too. But you don't even need to be doing that much. Start with one thing. Start with making a commitment. Just like you commit to showing up to training every day, commit to posting on social media 3 times a week. 3 times a week, find a little clip of you fighting, a picture of you fighting, write a little something underneath it and post it. Don't worry about how many likes it gets, how many views it gets, whatever in the beginning. Literally just make a habit of putting things out there. And as you make a habit of putting things out there, you're going to realize you're not being judged every time you post a video. You're not being judged every time you post a picture. And if you are, you're being judged by fucking losers and their opinion didn't matter to you anyway. Because there's going to be one picture or one video or one thing that you put out there once you start getting more comfortable with it that makes a company that's looking to sponsor athletes go, oh, I really like that guy, or oh, I really like that girl, and then pay you money just to be you and continue to do the shit you're doing. Right? So I understand not wanting to be on social media, but imagine if being on social media was literally paying you hundreds of dollars a week. Now, how does it sound? You find 3 sponsors that pay you $100, that pay you even $50. Let's say 100 for the sake of the math and helping my brain. But let's say you get 2 sponsors that pay you $100 a week to post an Instagram story with their company and a link to their website in it. Which, by the way, that is something that companies will do. I have seen it. Now you're making $200 a week, which is $800 a month for posting 2 Instagram stories a week. That's it. 2 Instagram stories a week, paying you $100 each post, $200 a week, $800 a month. Think about that. 2 sponsors. But how do you get those sponsors? You start doing the actions now. It's the same thing as when you look at how do you get to the UFC? How do you get to a boxing world championship? How do you get to these titles and these these promotions and all these things that you want? You put the actions in now, and in turn, those results come down the road. It's the same thing on the business side. You can sit around and say you don't like it, don't understand it, don't want to do it, etc. Or you can buck up, you can figure it the fuck out. You can start with these simple things that I laid out for you in this episode, and you can start making yourself some money. Guys, I hope that got you thinking. Honestly, too, if it did, if you are listening to this and you're thinking, man, I really got to start doing this, but I don't really know where to go or where to start, shoot me a DM, and I'm happy to have a conversation about this stuff. This stuff, I'm passionate about helping athletes, and that doesn't just mean with the training, but I'm passionate about helping athletes in every area. I understand what it's like starting off in the business end, not understanding it, not liking it, being uncomfortable. And I've put myself in a very, very good situation simply by taking action. And I want to help you do the same. So send me a DM, send me your questions, concerns, thoughts, anything that you've got on this area, and I'd be happy to see how I can help you out. So guys, I hope you got some value. I hope that shifted your perspective a little bit. I hope you're thinking about the social media thing a little bit differently, understanding it's not that fucking scary. You step into cages or rings and fight people. Posting pictures and videos on the internet, not a scary thing to do. So I appreciate you guys all. I hope you got some good value, some good perspective shift. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, I will catch you on the next episode.